Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee 2-0 after the 51-10 win over NC State. 7th in the AP poll, up to 5th in the ESPN Power Rankings, which is interesting because if you go look at the ESPN FPI for that Tennessee-Oklahoma game coming up in a couple of weeks, Tennessee is now 66% favorite to win that game. I thought that was interesting. Look at what this defense did against NC State on Saturday night. 3 turnovers, 13 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. You only gave up 143 total yards, 104 passing, 39 rushing yards. What this Rodney Garner defensive line does against the ground game has been impressive since he returned to Knoxville. That's 1.4 yards per carry against the running game of NC State. Offensively, 249 yards rushing, 5.7 yards per carry. I know people are out there talking. I think most of us are pretty happy. Most of us will take a 51-10 win over NC State. And I get it, man. At times the offense looked a little off, but they still went out and they scored 51 points. So what are people talking about? Most of you guys, I think we're in agreement. I think we're happy with where this football team is at. But you go to the comment section of YouTube, and I know sometimes that may not be the best place to go. John Doe, 8 hours ago. Maybe his name is John Doe for a reason. Probably doesn't want anybody to know who he is after this comment. He says, you all have got to stop sugarcoating and being a sunshine and rainbow fan. Is that what we do around here? Sunshine and rainbows? Because I'm pretty sure we got accused of throwing darts at Joe Milton all last year. He says, let's keep it 100. Nico and the entire passing offense was basically pedestrian AF. Now, this is where it gets funny. Against a very average, if not worse than average, NC State team, we will see what our team and our QB is really made of at Oklahoma. That makes me laugh because I wonder if John Doe, after Tennessee goes out to Oklahoma and puts a beating on him, will change his mind about how good Oklahoma actually is, always moving the goalpost. I also think it's interesting that he doesn't think Nico played a good game, and a lot of people are going to talk some hate about Nico because he threw 2 interceptions. And I know we're out there, we're talking, we're looking at this football team. We see what Nico did against Chattanooga. We're calling him a Heisman Trophy winner. He goes out, throws a couple of interceptions. Nico said it. Josh Heupel said it. He would like to have those 2 throws back. But if you go to ESPN.com, and you pull up the box score for Tennessee versus NC State, you're going to see a gigantic headline, and I mentioned this in the morning stream. It says, Nico Iamaleava combines for 276 yards and 3 touchdowns as number 14, Tennessee routs number 24, NC State, 51-10. I think if you read that headline and you didn't watch the game, you're going to think, man, Nico had a pretty good game, but people want to take 2 mistakes that he made and they want to run with it. John Doe goes on to say more. He says, I think losing Golish has had way more of an impact than talked about. Regardless of who has been at quarterback since he left, our offense has looked nothing like it did when he was the offensive coordinator. Well, it's just Joe Milton and Nico playing 2 games, sir. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on the Alex Golish love fest. Maybe he was the real mastermind behind the play calling, game planning, easy for me to say, and offense in general. It's worth having a conversation, but y'all won't do that. Well, here we are, John Doe, to have the conversation because you believe Nico ain't the star you thought and Heupel ain't the offensive genius you thought either. I thought this coaching staff did a great job scheming up NC State. I thought they did a great job with play calling, mixing the tight ends in, using the 12 personnel, using the run to set up the play action to Miles Kitselman. What do you guys think? Let John know. Let's jump to the comment section. Let John Doe know what you think about his comments, but I also want to see what the national media is talking about. We're going to get into it. We're going to discuss it. But as always, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. Quick, free, easy. Helps the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if it's your first time here, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're not journalists. We're not reporters. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to be live tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, playing EA Sports college football. We got a dynasty going. You can buy players, boost their stats, have some fun, or you can come on and go head-to-head with me. That's always a good time on Tuesday nights. We also talk all things Tennessee football the entire night. Talkin VAWLS live coming up Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll get into this Kent State glorified scrimmage, and then Talkin VAWLS live morning show Friday morning, 10 a.m. with me and Coach Jay. Don't forget to watch the morning show earlier today. Great show with Kaner as always. But let's go take a look at what the national media is saying. Love me some Cole Kubelik. This is what he tweeted out. He got to go watch the game over the weekend. Said, Tennessee, super impressive win. I've tried to tell the folks. So John Doe in the chat says NC State's not that good. Completely ignores what Tennessee went out and did. And he says Oklahoma's going to be the test. Cole Kubelik, who I think knows what he's talking about, says super impressive win. Tried to tell folks the tight ends are what can really elevate the offense. 87, 0, and 19 were fantastic. Weapons scored so many ways. Of course, he's talking about Kitzelman, Stace, Ethan Davis. The tight ends on Saturday night combined for 6 catches, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, the way they got involved in the blocking for the run game. He said 6 is as good as I've seen. Pressing, line of scrimmage, and blocks. O-line super physical, got out of control on a few pass pro reps. Still plenty to clean up there. You know, and a lot of us, myself included, on the post-game show, blame the offensive line for the second interception that Nico threw, right? Got blown up. Nico got killed. Nico didn't throw his offensive line under the bus like we saw Sanders do out in Colorado, right? He immediately throws his teammates, his offensive line under the bus. Nico doesn't do that. Nico says, I've got to learn to keep the ball in my pocket right there, right? I got to learn to take the sack, live to play another day. Nico learned from his mistake. Even though we can blame the offensive line, Nico still learned from it. Said still plenty to clean up. QB was solid. Missed a few by just a smidge. His legs are also big. Nobody wants to talk about that, right? And when I say nobody, I'm talking about the people like John Doe who are downplaying what Nico did. Nico completed almost 70% of his passes. Mentioned in this morning's stream, Joe Milton only did that in 3 games a year ago. 3 games. I get it. He turned the football over through 2 interceptions. It is what it is. We still won 51-10. He says 18 good in pass pro. Love hearing that. Deshaun Bishop, 10 carries, 42 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. Young, redshirt freshman running back that this coaching staff has talked about trusting in pass protection. Now we got Cole Kubelik here talking about pass protection as well. Defensive line disrupted, 55. Omar Norman Lott was a wrecking ball. Liketown 19 and 27 lined up other places. You know, this defensive line, again, Omar Norman Lott, Kaner said it this morning on the morning show, seemed like he was all over the field all day long. He only played 14 plays. Again, the rotation, the depth, how fresh these bodies are going to be as we get into the grind of the schedule. PFF graded Omar Norman Lott out at 80.2. James Pierce, Joshua Josephs all over the field as well. Mentions Ricky Gibson here, says 1 was flying around, 11 making plays. Love me some Keenan Peely. Plays violent and aggressive. Says good, slicing through, 90, 97, 51 up front. He's talking about Don Bailey, Jason Jenkins, and Jackson Moy. So they got upfield. 39 looked good at linebacker late. That's Jalen Smith, excited about his future. Says misdirection and gadget play were all that got them dominant performance over a top 25 team. 51-10 over a top 25 team. But we always, certain people out there want to move the goalpost and pretend that Tennessee's nothing. Guess what? We're going to go out and we're going to whip Oklahoma's tail, and they're going to do it again. And guess what? We're going to go whip Florida's tail, Arkansas's tail. And then Alabama comes to town, and we're going to prove something to somebody. And then they're going to say, well, Nick Saban's not there. That doesn't count either. Let the haters hate. They're always going to deny Tennessee. They're always going to move the goalpost. That's what they do. There's somebody else that I want to take a listen to. Greg McElroy, always college football, says in a 51-10 blowout win over NC State, the Vols defense was the story. Says the defense, man, that's the difference between being a good team. I think that 2022 team was a good team, and an elite team. I think this 2024 team has a chance to be elite. Let's listen to Greg McElroy.
We've spent all offseason talking about Nico Iamaleava and the Tennessee offense and how exciting it's going to be. And all that's well and good, but let's just acknowledge what this team really is. They're an outfit that can kill you on defense. They can wear you out on the defensive side. And I think Grayson McCall, he's going to be sore today. It never felt like NC State could get anything manufactured offensively. Just completely locked down, double-digit tackles for loss. 16 different players accounted for 13 tackles for loss. Had 3 takeaways, and Tennessee just completely shut them down. Look, Nico, we're all hyped up about his potential, as we should be. Tennessee has the defense that will keep them in every game. I'm very bullish with what I saw in Tennessee. I know that they're going to score. Josh Heupel's always scored, but the defense, man, that's the difference between being a good team and an elite team, and they have guys on the defensive line that can flat out take over the game.
I said it this morning. I said it last night on the Fan Call Show. I'm going to keep saying it. If Tennessee's offense shows up, yeah, they were a little off Saturday, and we still scored 51 points. Still ran the football down their throat. 249 yards rushing. You want to tell me that 249 yards rushing is not a good day of offense? I get it. It's not flashy. It's not the deep ball. It's not taking the shots. Sometimes you got to take what they give you and you got to grind it out. And Tennessee ran the football for 250 yards. Is that not good enough? Who cares? I love what Coach Jay said on this channel a week ago. It ain't about fan service. Josh Heupel ain't here for fan service and fancy stats and stuff like that. He doesn't care. He's here to win football games, and that's what they're doing with a 51-10 win over NC State. But again, if this offense shows up and this defense shows up on the same day, nobody in the country is going to beat Tennessee. But the beautiful thing is they don't have to. There can be a game where the defense goes out and takes care of business. There can be a game where Nico takes over and dominates a game. That is why this team has the opportunity to be elite. This defense, they've not had a touchdown scored on them in 3 games. They blanked Iowa. They gave up a field goal to Chattanooga. Nico laughed after the NC State game, said the only touchdown the defense gave up was on me. That's on me. That's not on this defense. Again, 3 turnovers, 13 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 1.4 yards per carry. Dominic Bailey with the sack fumble. I think Tennessee really started to put the dagger in them at that point. Will Brooks, that pick 6, guys flying around, guys making plays. I think it was good to see Ricky Gibson back out there. Cole Kubelik mentioned him. He wasn't really showing up on the stat sheet. 1 tackle. Isn't that what you want out of your corners? I think this team is dangerous. I think people are taking notice, and I think people are talking about him. Is it sunshine and rainbows, or is it facts? Tell me when I'm telling lies. You guys jump in the comment section. Let's talk about all the comments from John Doe in the chat, from Cole Kubelik, and from Greg McElroy talking about this Tennessee football team. I think they're dangerous. Smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. This show does not exist without you. So if you like the show, the content, the live streams, the videos, whatever it is you like about this channel, think about hitting that join button. It's right beside subscribe. There's also a link in the description. It's just $1, just $1 a month, but it gives us the opportunity to keep this channel moving ahead, talking Tennessee football all day, every day. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.